you're well and happy, you and your family and everyone. This is our purpose, I believe, in life. So we have another session today, and today we're going to talk about self-acceptance and feeling our self-worth. Again, I encourage you to keep to your beliefs, to listen to what I have to say. I believe what I say, but I don't want you to believe something simply because I believe it. Now, the subject of self-worth. Are we worthy of love, respect, happiness, health, abundance? It seems that there is some doubt in some people's mind on this subject. Society programs us to believe that our self-worth is dependent on what others think about us, how they behave towards us, how we compare to them, another issue, and the results of our actions or our appearance or economic or professional situation. We have learned that our self-worth is not um, permanent. It's something that depends on external factors, and that's what we would like to discuss today. My personal belief is that everyone is worthy of love and respect as expressions of divine consciousness. Now, you can agree with me, you can disagree. I want you to think about it. I believe that we are all expressions of the divine, rays of divine consciousness in the physical world, and that is what our self-worth depends on. That is why we are always worthy of love and respect. Now, we're going to make a few clarifications here. Being worthy of love and respect does not mean that we don't have faults. It means that we accept ourselves with our faults. So accepting others with their faults and accepting ourselves with our faults, because we are beings in the process of evolution. So it's natural that we will have faults since we are evolving and hopefully changing. Nor does it mean that we're more worthy than anyone else. Okay, so everyone deserves the same love and the same respect. So accepting ourselves does not mean we don't have faults. It does not mean we believe we are perfect. And it does not mean that we believe that we are superior. Self-worth for me is based on existence. If someone is more able, then he is worthy of more responsibility. If someone is more ethical, then they're worthy of more trust and freedom. If they're not ethical, they may not deserve to be free to move around in society because they may steal or harm people. So we need to make a distinction between existence, our divine inner self, ability, which gives us the right to have more responsibilities or to have more to say about what's happening, and being ethical, which gives us the right to be trusted or to move around freely. Another clarification I would like to make is about um, what I am, what I have, and what I do. So uh, for me, our self-worth depends on our I am, because I am a human being. I am an expression of divine consciousness. I have. Now, many people believe that they are worthy because they have a spouse or they have children that are doing well or they have a nice house or a car or a certain appearance. So they believe that their self-worth is dependent on what they have. And other people, many of us, are programmed to believe that we're worthy based on what we do, how much we do, and what we do, and how much of what we do is recognized by other people. So we need to make a clarification between what I am, here I believe is based our self-worth, I have, and I do. Now there's no problem about having and doing. We're in this physical world, so why not have and do, but not to base our self-worth on that or feel less about others, respect others less because they don't have or do as much. So for me, our self-worth is based on our inner essence, on our divine nature and not on external factors. Self-acceptance and self-confidence are the basis of all success, happiness, and love, actually. Now, let's make a small distinction between self-acceptance and self-confidence. Anyone can describe these words as they like. For me, self-acceptance is accepting ourselves as we are, feeling positive about ourselves, loving ourselves. Self-confidence for me has to do with feeling capable of doing something. Someone could feel self-confident, so yeah, I can do that, but not feel self-acceptance. So we want both. We want self-acceptance and self-confidence. In this lesson, we'll be talking more about self-acceptance. When we do not love ourselves, we do not wish the best for ourselves. In that case, if we don't love ourselves, and we're going to talk more about this when we talk about conscience and self-forgiveness. Now we're talking about social programming. It's more difficult to correctly care for ourselves. If we don't love ourselves, then we are more prone to self-destructive tendencies, such as smoking or drinking substances which may harm us, or overeating. It's not easy to accept and give love. We feel like we don't deserve that love. We drain others with our continuous need for recognition and approval. It's another serious problem. We become very tiring for the people around us when we need continuous affirmation and approval. We feel that we do not deserve love, happiness, health, and loving relationships, and thus we don't create them. We compare ourselves with the others, so we become antagonistic. We become competitive with others concerning who is more worthy or even less worthy, okay? We lose time and energy and money seeking approval from others in various ways. I mean, many people are losing their lives entirely just by seeking approval. And it's a shame because we're not addressing ourselves to the real purposes for which we have come to this physical level. We fear what other people think about us, and that becomes something that paralyzes us in our lives, and we lose our inner peace. So when we love and accept ourselves, we care for ourselves, we want the best for ourselves, and it's much easier to love others. So part one in this section here, when do we lose our self-worth? We lose our self-worth from two causes. The first cause is social programming, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And the second is conscience, or feeling guilt. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about social programming, how we have become programmed to feel or not feel worthy. When others accuse us or criticize or put us down, we feel that we lose our self-worth, that the other person is criticizing us. The belief here is that I am worthy and lovable only when others accept and love me. Now, this is not a true belief. The others may have problems. The others may have different opinions, and they may be right for themselves, but not for us. But even if their criticism is correct, it does not mean that we're not worthy of love. We said that we are in a process of evolution. We said we are not perfect, but we do deserve love and respect. So one programming is when we are accused or criticized, we are not worthy. This is a false childhood programming. When others are better than us at certain things, such as intelligence, appearance, ability to talk or convince, artistic abilities, professional success, athletic performance, ability to cook, number of acquaintances, successes with the opposite sex, our home's appearance, our wealth, how our children are doing. Many people depend on that. The number of disciplines or spiritual activities. The belief here is that I am worthy and lovable only when I am better than others in relationship to. And now you fill that out. Is it cooking? Is it appearance? Is it money? Is it professional? Is it spiritual life? All of these can become competitive activities. Thirdly, we feel that we lose our self-worth when we make a mistake. mistakes are a process of learning. Can you learn a piano without making a mistake? Can you learn to speak another language without making a mistake? It's impossible. It's a part of the learning process, but we didn't learn that as children. We said that if I make a mistake, I am not worthy. And this causes many of us not to try out anything new, because very logically, doing anything new opens up the possibility of making a mistake, since I'm not very adapted at it yet, adept. Fourth, when we don't have the results we believe we should have after a certain effort. Now here it says for a civil engineer, there's no such thing as a little mistake. These cars are going to go into the sea, and these cars are going to the sea. Now, I don't know how they corrected that. Now, this engineer, for me, deserves love and respect. Now, if his employer believes that he deserves to keep his job is another thing. We said one thing is ability, and another thing is essence. Our essence is always worthy of love and respect. Abilities allow us to keep our position or have responsibilities. When others are the center of attention and receive the respect and admiration of the group. Okay, so that we can feel this when someone else is getting all the attention and no one is paying any attention to us, we can believe that we are less worthy. Our worthiness has not changed. It's an internal situation. It's an internal essence, quality. It has nothing to do with whether people are paying more attention to us or someone else. And here's another place where we get stuck. When we do not have an exclusive love relationship where our partner loves no one else as he or she loves us. Now, it's natural that many people feel rejection or feel jealousy or feel not unloved if their loved one, if they discover their loved one loves someone else also. This is a very natural human emotion. But the truth is, we don't lose our self-worth. Our self-worth is not based on whether the other person loves only us or not. This is just a social programming. And for example, if you were living in a Muslim society and a husband was allowed to have 4 or more wives in some situations, or even in older societies, various older societies had that custom, you would feel it natural. And I have heard that there are even some societies which women had more men. So this is a social programming that if I don't have someone who loves me exclusively and doesn't love anyone else in the way that he loves or she loves me, then I am unworthy. This is a false programming. When we are not perfect, some people have that need. The belief is I am worthy of love and respect only when I am perfect, when I have perfect appearance, perfect home, children, or results. We have Miss Perfect here. So I'm not sure that's true. I'm sure it's not true that we're more worthy because we're perfect. The worthiness has nothing to do with our results. Um, but I don't think that people love perfect people more. I think they feel uncomfortable with them. So, I mean, the belief is not true, and both beliefs are not true, that people are going to love me more if I'm perfect. They'll probably be jealous. They'll probably actually not like me if I think that I'm better than they are, if I'm perfect. When we do not do enough things in one day, another programming. I'm guilty of this sometimes, that I need to feel like I've done enough things today in order to relax and to, do something else eventually. This idea that we must do things in order to feel worthy. Okay, so the belief here is I am worthy of love and respect only when I do many things in one day. Now it's nice to do a lot of things. It's productive, and what's more, that's why we're here in this physical realm. But it doesn't change our self-worth. We're not worthy of more love and respect. Then we're not, other person is not doing more than we are, is not worthy of less respect and love. It's an enjoyment. Do things, enjoy them, have fun creating, producing, serving. When we are not strong or appear strong, or when we show weakness, another fear. Some people believe that only if they are strong or appear strong will others love them. But would they be worthy of love? But it's the same with the perfect. Few people love the strong. They always love the weak. So first of all, I am not more worthy since I appear to be strong. And secondly, people don't feel more comfortable with strong people than they do with people that have problems. When the others do not agree with us, there's another programming that I am worthy when the others agree with me. And this is why we need always to fight and try to convince other people to agree with us. And it's a shame. Let's agree not to agree. I'm not worthy of more love and respect because people agree with me. I am who I am. My inner essence is the same, regardless of whether someone agrees with me or not. Now, we can search through our belief system and listen to the belief system of the other person and see what we kind of conclusion we want to come to. Maybe we will change our minds. Maybe they will change their minds. Maybe we'll agree to not agree, but to be loving each other and respecting each other in our different perceptions. Another programming is when others are not satisfied with us, especially parents and spouses and children. So the idea is that I have, in order for me to be worthy, the other people have to express satisfaction for what I'm doing, for how I am. And this is another false belief. What we want to do is to be okay with our conscience and to consider, if I was the other person, would I be satisfied with me? That's the only question, not whether they are satisfied or not. Now, if they're not satisfied, we can ask what else they would like, and perhaps we could do it with love. And, because we care for the other person, do more so they're more satisfied. But we're not more worthy. It doesn't change our self-worth. When we do not say yes, when others ask something of us, another programming here, in order to be worthy of love, I have to say yes to whatever they ask from us. They may ask for us things that are immoral or detrimental for them or for ourselves or for society. We will go through this issue in another class about what do I really want to do when someone is asking something from me. This is another issue about defining boundaries, which we'll talk about another time. When others give us more than we give them, this is another idea that if they asked us over 10 times, we asked them over one time, or they brought us a bottle of wine and we didn't give them anything, whatever that may be. The idea is that the person who gives more, well, some people have this idea, not everybody, that if we need to give more than they're giving us in order to be worthy. So just how much value did the gift that they gave us for Christmas have? We have to give them a gift of the equal or more value. Okay. So these are social programmings. They have nothing to do with our inner self-worth. When others do not trust us enough in order to confide in us, is another issue for some people. We may feel that maybe they think we're not trustworthy, or that we're not good people and they're not confiding in us. And they may just have problems confiding, opening up, believing that it's safe to share with other people what they're feeling and what they're needing. So this is another place where sometimes we feel that we lose our self-worth, when others do not trust in us. When others lie to us or are able to fool us. I never really understood why I would be less worthy if you told me a lie, but people tell me that they feel less worthy because the belief is that the other guy was able to fool me. And so I lost my self-worth because the other guy was able to fool me. I must be stupid. I prefer to be trusting. And even, until the other guy shows me that he can't be trusted or she cannot be trusted, then okay, I can change my perception. But I think it's better to start out with the idea that they can be trusted, and then if they show otherwise. But we certainly do not lose our self-worth because the other person is immoral or unable to tell the truth. That has nothing to do with what we are. When others use us or are not as conscientious as us, another programming that I've witnessed, that I feel that I lose my self-worth because I'm doing all the work and the other people are not doing anything. And then often the people that are feeling this have a second belief that I must do more than the others in order to feel worthy. So we have two conflicting beliefs. One that says I must do more than them and then I'm worthy. But if I'm doing everything and not doing anything, then I'm losing my self-worth. It's stupid. So we can see that we are sort of caught here as to what to do, but it has nothing to do with our self-worth. We're not more worthy because we're doing more, and we're not more worthy, less worthy because we're doing less. It has nothing to do with our self-worth. Now, I don't know how many of you have lived in societies in the Eastern Hemisphere. I mean, from going from Eastern Europe on to the East, Afghanistan, India, Middle East. But there is the concept that the woman is less worthy than the man. And it's changing. In the 45 years I've been here in Greece, there's been a tremendous change in that perception. If we go further east, into the Middle Eastern countries, or we go into Afghanistan or India, it hasn't changed that much. It's changing, but it hasn't changed that much yet. So a woman could be programmed within herself to believe I am less worthy simply because I'm female. Okay, so and this is something that definitely needs to be changed because the soul has no gender. Soul is without a gender. We choose our gender when we are born to learn certain lessons. And perhaps one of the most difficult situations to overcome is because my parents did not want a child and I felt that was a burden for them. Now, this needs to be healed. It's natural for some parents who are in a difficult emotional situation or economic situation not to be totally happy that a new responsibility is coming into their lives. It'd be very natural for them to feel some resentment or some fear uh, and feel this is not wanted. But this has nothing to do with the soul that's being born. They didn't meet this soul. They didn't evaluate this soul. It could be anybody. It could be a perfect soul. It has nothing to do with our self-worth. But the embryo and the newborn child cannot understand that. So we start out life with the feeling that we are a burden. We are not wanted. We are not worthy of love and respect. And this needs to be healed. And fortunately, it can be healed with EFT and BSFF and TAT and various other techniques, and also regressions to childhood years. The solution for this social programming is to realize that they are all illusions. They have nothing to do with the truth. That our self-worth has nothing to do with any of the above, but rather with the essence of our being. Now, this is a big change that we're going to try to make here. And it will take time and it will take persistence in order to do it. Now, for matters of conscience, as I said, we're not going to do them. They'll be dealt in another lesson. That is when I have caused pain for another person, the belief I'm an evil person because when my actions cause pain for others, we will talk about that. And when I'm not in harmony with my conscience, again, another lesson, I am not a good person and do not deserve love and respect when I behave towards others in ways I would not like them to behave to me. I agree 100%. We want to get to that point where we only behave in ways we would like them to behave to us. But we're going to deal that in another session. Now, concepts for getting free from these illusions. Now, you may have heard that elephants, when they are very small and have less power, they are chained to a peg, pounded into the ground, and it's enough to keep them there. Over the time, of the years, they become much stronger and could easily move away and pull the peg from the ground, but they don't because they believe that they cannot. They have been programmed to believe that when there is a chain on my foot and it's attached to a peg, I can't leave. Now, we have many of these perceptions, and they have to do with our self-worth and with our inner strength, with our ability, with our intelligence, with our ability to make decisions. These are all like the programming of the elephant. They have nothing to do with our truth today. Now, there's another short story that I heard. There was an elephant. I'm sorry. There was a lion chasing after a herd of sheep, and then this lion had the baby lion with her, a newborn lion. And in the process, the older lion, the larger lion, died. I'd say she fell off a cliff. And this smaller lion, this baby lion, grew up with the sheep and went bye-bye and learned to eat grass and became very afraid, as the sheep are afraid. And then one day this other lion came along and saw this lion behaving like a sheep. He says, "What are you doing? Why are you behaving this way? Why are you so afraid?" And the lion said, "Well, you're a lion and I'm a sheep, and I'm afraid of you. You could harm me." And the real lion takes him down to the river, to the lake, and shows him his appearance. Says, "Look, you're a lion. You're not a sheep." And so we have various spiritual beings who have come into our lives in history and tell us that we are souls, that we have power within us, that we are divine beings, that we can actually do miracles. And we have many enlightened beings who have come and told us these facts, that you're not who you think you are. You're much stronger and much more capable and much more guided than you can imagine. And so we need to let go of these social programmings and begin to experience our real self-worth and self-confidence. Another example I use is the flower bud and the flowered flower, the flower that has opened up. Um, the bud is as equally valuable and lovable as the flower. It's just the process. It's going to become a flower. So we are like flower buds, spiritual buds that are going to become flowers. We cannot be born as flowers, and buds cannot come into existence as flowers. So we go through this process. So we are actually buds in the process of opening. And our life situations are the events, the stimulus, which will allow us to open up and become the flowers that we really are inherently within ourselves. So we may appear as buds, but we're becoming flowers. Let's disregard whatever the subject of this painting is. You may have feelings positive and negative for it. I have no feelings whatsoever. But it's just the only one I could find that could show a painting in process. Okay. So we are all half-finished paintings in the process of becoming. As a painting, it could be nothing other than it is at every point in its creation. And we could not be anything different than what we are in our process of evolutionary perfecting ourselves. So we are all half-finished paintings in the process of perfecting ourselves. For example, a child in the first grade is equally worthy of love and respect as a university graduate or the professor. We don't love the professor more because he knows more, or the graduate. So we're talking about love and respect. We're not talking about ability. We're talking about the right of every being to be loved and respected, and for every being to feel that he or she deserves to be loved and respected. And that is even true when we cannot function. For example, there are some people who are blocked. They're blocked in their self-acceptance and their self-confidence. They're not able to do much with their lives. Just consider that they have a broken leg. If they had a broken leg, would you have a problem with them not doing something? But their broken leg is not visible. It's the broken leg of self-confidence and the broken leg of self-acceptance, which causes them to be lazy or to not do what they could do in their lives. But they are worthy, just as the person with the broken leg is worthy of love and respect, even when he or she cannot do anything because they can't, because the leg is broken. The same is true for the invisible broken legs of self-confidence and self-acceptance. Now, there are various ways in healing this situation. One is written affirmation. Others, deep relaxation with positive projection techniques, speaking to a mirror and speaking positively to ourselves in the mirror, energy psychology, that's what we're going to be doing today. Hemisphere balancing, we'll be doing that also. Regressions to the inner child to relive past situations with the truth that we are aware of today, expressing ourselves through art or dance, and behaving as if we already believe and experience our self-worth. So there are various methods. We're going to employ a few of them today. So what are some alternative perceptions? Okay. I am worthy of love and respect as I am, regardless of what other believes about me or how they behave towards me. This is an alternative perception. These perceptions can be brought into our minds when we're doing the exercises. My self-worth is independent of how I compare with others. We are all uniquely and equally worthy, regardless of unique and equally regardless of our differences. My self-worth is based on my existence and is totally independent of external factors such as intelligence, wealth, appearance, abilities, success, professional position, my children's success, my parents, my home, whether or not I am attractive to the opposite sex. These have nothing to do with whether we are worthy of love and acceptance. Now, this is one of the ways in which we actually measure ourselves. This is who we are, the soul, and the soul is encompassed in, for temporarily while we are born, while we're living in this physical world, by a personality. And the personality is limited by beliefs. And the beliefs create motives, and the motives create efforts. And the efforts result in some results. Now, the fact is that the results are not the results only of the effort. And we'll discuss this on another day when we talk about the problem of results, because there are many other factors which affect what result we will have. I'm sure you have seen in life, in yourselves, in other people, that the results that people get often has nothing to do with the sincerity or the ability, the quality of their effort. So there are other factors going on here. But we're evaluating ourselves based on the results and not by the effort or the motives or who we are. Our real self-worth is based on this, the fact that we're souls. If we want to evaluate our personalities, then we can evaluate our personality based on the purity of our motives or on the quality of our effort, but never on our results. And especially when our results have to do with results for other beings who have their own agenda in life and their own lessons to learn, such as our children or spouse or anyone that we're trying to help. So we need to bring it in and realize that our self-worth depends on our existence. If we want to work on something, let's work on our motives and our efforts, but not the results. Our self-worth has nothing to do with the results. Okay, so I am equally worthy when others are receiving more attention than I. Neither am I more worthy when I am receiving more attention than others. Okay, so let's disengage our self-worth from how much people are paying attention to us or paying attention to others. 6, I am equally worthy of love and respect when I have and do not have an exclusive love partner. So it has nothing to do. I am who I am. Who I am doesn't change because now I have a love partner, and it doesn't change because now I don't, or my love partner is not exclusive anymore. It has nothing to do with who we are. I am worthy of love and respect even when I am not perfect and even when I make mistakes. Is this being unlovable when she makes mistakes? It's impossible not to make mistakes. So it has nothing to do with that. It's the being is worthy of love. I am worthy of love and respect even when I'm feeling weak and in need of support. Let's accept when we are feeling weak. Let's accept when we're in need of support. We all have those stages, those situations in our lives. And it's just the ego which is preventing us from admitting it and accepting it. I am worthy of love and respect even when others are not satisfied with me. I am okay with the dissatisfaction as long as I am okay with my conscience. If I'm not okay with my conscience, then it's not the next lesson, it'll be after some lessons. What do I do when I'm not okay with my conscience? If I'm okay with my conscience and the others are not satisfied, don't worry about it. Ask them, see if there's something else we can do, but let's not play that game of having to be accepted by the other people. It's a form of emotional blackmail sometimes. I am worthy of love and respect even when I cannot or choose not to say yes to what others ask of me. I think that you will agree that you would not like others in your lives to say yes to you when they feel no. Would you like them to do that? Would you like them to say yes and feel unhappy doing something they don't want to do? I wouldn't, that's for sure. I would not like someone to say yes to me and be unhappy and feel that I am the cause for them to do something they don't want to do. So because I believe in doing to others as I would like them to do to me, then I also choose when I don't feel like doing something to say, no, I really, I love you, I care for you, I would like to, but I'm just not into that at this moment. It's not something that I would enjoy at this point. Or overcome my resistance and do it with love. And this is another issue we'll talk about at another time. But either do it with love or don't do it. And let's receive the consequences. My self-worth is independent of how what I give compares to what I receive. We don't need to play the game of whether I'm giving or receiving more or less. It's a trap on both sides. Okay. My self-worth is independent of whether others are able to trust and confide in me or not. It has nothing to do. I am who I am. My self-worth is a reflection of my divine origin. It has nothing to do with my family, religion, economic, or social status, or any other grouping. It has nothing to do with the color of my skin, my gender, my religion, my nationality. It has nothing to do with any of those factors. We're all expressions of the divine. I love and accept myself exactly as I am, including my weaknesses and faults at my present stage of evolutionary process. So evolutionary process is the key word here. Let's accept ourselves as we are at this stage of the process, but let's continue the process. Let's continue moving forward. I am beautiful just as I am, just as all of nature, of which I am an expression. Okay. My self-worth is based on my inner being, my existence itself, my divine nature, not on any external factors. My self-worth is based on the truth that I, as all other beings, don't forget that, all other beings, am a unique expression of divine creation. My self-worth cannot be increased nor decreased by others or myself. I do not deserve more or less love and or respect than any other being. This is where we want to get to. Okay. Even though I am not perfect and I have a number of faults, I deserve love and respect as I am, just as I respect and love others as they are with their faults. I am an expression of divine consciousness in this material dimension. Now, what are the techniques that we're going to use today for dealing with this issue? We're going to use EFT and BSFF and the Sedona method and probably the brain balancing. We will see about the freeze frame, the heart math, okay? So we could start out with the EFT saying, even though until now I have felt unworthy or demeaned when, and now you put the subject, when my mother criticizes me, when my spouse looks at other men or women, when I fail at some effort, when I speak harshly to my children, let that go, because we're going to work on that at another time. When my children are not as successful as I would like them to be, or when they're not well, Okay? Don't choose your own behavior for this exercise. I now choose to remember that as an expression of the divine consciousness in the process of evolution, I am always worthy of love and respect. And then we're going to do the brain balancing posture with the feet and hands crossed for energy flow. Focus on the truth. We mentioned a number of truths and repeat it over and over peacefully, feeling that it is true. Bring to the mind images that enable the subconscious to understand that you truly are worthy of love or respect as you are. Feel the feeling of your inner worth, purity, goodness as inner realities that are steadfast, unwavering, and non-negotiable. Allow the feeling to fill the body and mind. Now, if we do, I always sort of flow with these things, and we'll see if we're going to do the freeze frame from the Heart Math group. What will we do? We bring the situation in which we lose our sense of self-worth or respect for ourselves or love for ourselves. We'll bring that to mind. We'll focus on it and accept the feelings. And then we will do some breathing into the heart center, imagining inhaling light and energy into the heart center and exhaling it out the top of the head. If you learn this from the heart math, they will be telling you to exhale out of the solar plexus. You can do that if you like. Because I have done yoga for 50 years, I prefer this method, in and out to the top. But you can also inhale into the heart center and exhale from the solar plexus. Feeling these energy centers getting filled with light and energy. And then you would bring to mind someone that is easier for you to love and or feel gratitude, and focus on feeling love and or gratitude for about 5 minutes. And then we bring the same situation to mind, the situation in which previously or until previously we lost our sense of worthiness or our self-acceptance. And we'll see if we can perceive this now in a different way. And it's not so much as bringing new thoughts as accepting new ways of perceiving ourselves and life and others in this state. Now, it may be necessary, it usually is necessary, eventually to work on childhood experiences that have created this self-doubt, in which we believe that we are not worthy, and relive those same situations and bring the truth of the present into the past, realizing that of course we were worthy. The other people had problems. Even if we made mistakes, it doesn't mean we weren't worthy. We're little children. And to experience ourselves as divine beings in this regression. This woman is in a state of regression, let us say, and she's remembering this and changing this perception. Now, this usually requires someone to guide us in this process. That will be the subject of another seminar at some point. I'm just saying that some of these changes will require regressions and require healing our perceptions that were created in the past, which are simply not true, these false childhood programmings. And how is that done? For example, let's say that we have self-doubt, and this is the tabletop of the table of our belief of self-doubt. Now, let's say there are hundreds of legs. These are legs supporting this tabletop. Here we're showing just 10. So rather than working on the self-doubt, what we do when we work on the childhood experiences is heal each leg, cut one leg and then cut the next leg and cut the third leg. We wanted to remove the emotional charge associated with those past experiences that may have contributed to self-doubt. And the good news is that we don't have to cut all of them. If there are 100 situations in our childhood years which have created self-doubt, if we cut 10 of them, if we go into 10 of them and relive them and remove the emotional charge and remove the old perception and create a new perception, then the table will fall. And so this is called the law of generalization, which Gary Craig had created this idea. So we make a list of all the experiences of the past which have created the sense of self-doubt, criticism by others, failing in some event, being punished, being abandoned, being rejected, whatever it may be, and work on healing those experiences, then our present perception of ourselves and life will change totally. Again, if you have issues you would like to have more clarification, this is my email, and we can stop here and do the exercise. So just let me make a short. Okay, so sit with your spine straight and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and relax. As you breathe, feel your spine becoming straight, your shoulders coming back, your abdomen relaxing, your solar plexus relaxing. Keep breathing slowly and deeply in a relaxed way. Let's allow the muscles of the face to relax, the jawbone, the cheeks relaxing. Let's allow the eyes to relax. And let's allow the forehead to relax. And the temples. Allow the temples to relax. Now, as you're sitting there in a straight and relaxed position, allow your mind to wander a bit and think of the situations in your life today in which you feel self-doubt. In which situations do you doubt your self-worth? Is it when you don't have the results you would like to have? Or when others criticize? Or when they behave without respect? When others get more attention? In which situations? Don't choose a consciousness situation, a conscious situation. It's a situation which has to do with social programming. Okay. Now choose one stimulus, one situation, in which when that happens, or when you think about it, you experience self-doubt. And bring that stimulus to mind and focus on it. And feel the emotions that you usually feel in that situation. And let's accept those emotions, those feelings. And let's accept the part of ourselves, the part of our mind which feels that way. It's actually our programming that feels that way. Let's accept the emotions and accept the part of ourselves that feels that way. And let us make the agreement with the subconscious and with the inner child and with the pain body and with our higher selves and with the divine, to become free from all illusions, false beliefs about ourselves and others, all attachments and emotions which are preventing us from experience our true selves, our self-worth as expressions of the divine, our security, our peace, our power. We choose to let go of all obstacles. Okay, now we're going to do EFT. Take your right hand and rub on the left side, saying, even though until now I have felt, and say the emotions that you felt when, and say the stimulus, I love and accept myself. 3 times. Even though until now, we're putting it in the past, I have felt, mention the emotions. When or because, mention the stimulus. I love and accept myself. 1 more time. Even though until now, I have felt, when or because, I love and accept myself. Now on the other side, I choose to be free from, say the emotions, when, stipulate the stimulus. I want to be free. I deserve to be free. Mention the emotion and the stimulus. It's in my benefit to be free. Okay? Now, with both hands coming to the back of the neck, as we have done in previous classes, tapping alternatively as we come up, having in mind the stimulus that caused us to doubt ourselves and the feeling of self-doubt, bring our elbows into front now and coming over the head and to the forehead, and now going beside the side of the head and to the back of the neck again, tapping all these points, getting the energy flowing as we're focusing on the emotion and stimulus, and coming to the forehead, and now changing and placing 2 fingers at the bridge of the nose, coming over to the side to the temples, and coming behind the ears, and coming back under the eyes. Important point, focus on the emotion, the feeling of self-doubt, whatever it is. Now the lips above and below. Now under the armpits, okay, alternatively always. And then on the collarbone. And then on the wrists, a number of points there. Okay, so we're doing that 2 more times. On the neck, focus on the stimulus and the emotion coming up to the forehead, coming around to the side, tapping all the points, going back to the bottom of the neck, coming up over the top of the head to the forehead again. Now with 2 fingers, focusing on the emotions, coming to the temples, coming behind the ears, coming forward under the eyes, lips above and below, under the arms, at the collarbone, okay, the wrists, and the sides of the hands. 1 more time, focused on the stimulus, at the neck, coming up, coming over on top, forehead, side of the head, coming back down, coming back up, tapping all of those points, getting the energy flowing, forehead, 2 fingers at the bridge of the nose, coming to the side, behind the temples, behind the ears, under the eyes, important point, focus on the emotion, the above and below the lips, under the arms, on the collarbone, and the wrists. Okay, now sit with your spine straight again and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and relax. Focus on letting go, allowing yourself to be in the present. And focus once again on the stimulus which in the past has caused you to doubt yourself. And focus on that and feel whatever emotions are remaining. And let's accept those emotions. And let's accept the part of our mind that creates those emotions. the beliefs that are creating those emotions. And we're going to perform the BSFF method, remembering our agreement with the subconscious, inner child, pain body, higher self, and divine, to let go of all roots, all previous memories, all experiences from the past that may have programmed us in this way. Now you can do as I do and repeat after me what I say, filling in the blanks. Starting out at the eyebrows. In relationship to this situation, I am letting go of all pain, repeat after me, and all causes and roots of pain in the subconscious, in this dimension, and all other dimensions. Now at the cheeks. In relationship to this stimulus, I am letting go of all fear and anxiety and roots of fear and anxiety in the subconscious, in this dimension, and all other dimensions. The little finger, in relationship to this subject, you will fill in the subject, okay? This self-doubt. I am letting go of all guilt, all self-doubt, all self-rejection, and all roots of self-doubt, of guilt, and self-rejection in the subconscious, in this dimension, and all other dimensions. Now the small finger, in relationship to this situation, I am letting go of all anger and all roots and causes of anger in the subconscious, in this dimension, and all other dimensions. Coming back to the eyebrows, in relationship to this situation, I am letting go of all trauma and all memory of trauma in the subconscious, from this dimension and all other dimensions. Small index finger. I forgive myself for all involvement in this situation. I have done whatever I could at every stage of my evolutionary process, and I'm doing the best I can. Little finger. And I forgive others for their involvement in this situation. They too did whatever they could based on their childhood experiences, fears, illusions, and our soul choices in this lifetime. Now, sit with the spine straight. Let's close the eyes. Focus inwardly. Let's breathe more slowly, more deeply. As we breathe, our spine becomes straighter. Our abdomen relaxes. And solar plexus, allow the solar plexus to relax. Let's allow the shoulders to relax. And the upper arms, even the wrists and hands. Let's allow our face muscles to relax. Let's allow our cheeks to relax. And our temples. And our eyes. Relaxing. And our forehead relaxing. Going to perform a version of the freeze frame method, our our specific version. As you focus on the situation, feel your feelings once again. What you have felt until now or until 10 minutes ago in that situation. And let's accept our emotions and accept that our mind creates these emotions. Now we can begin to focus on our breathing, and as you inhale, imagine that you're inhaling energy and light into the center of your chest, into your heart center. And as you exhale, imagine that energy and light flowing upward through your head and out to the top of the head, creating a flow of energy and light in this way. Inhaling into the chest, into the heart center, light and energy. Exhaling upward, flowing through the brain, out through the top of the head. Let's do that a little more. Focus on the breathing. Feel the energy and light coming in and then flowing up and out. Energizing the heart center and the head center. Becoming more and more energized through the breathing and the concentrating, through the imagination. And let's feel the heart center energized with energy and light, and feel that it is extending to the brain center, and that the energies in these two centers are becoming one united energy, which has to do with the qualities of the heart and also the mind together, a balanced energy of heart and mind. Now we can bring to mind a being that is easy to love. It could be an aspect of the divine, whatever that means for you. It could be a person that you know, that you care for. It could even be a pet. Whatever being it is easy to love. And focus on that being. And let's allow ourselves to feel love towards that being without asking anything in return. Just wanting them to be well, happy. And let's feel that love and feel how it relaxes us, how it brings us peace to feel love. And allow that feeling of love to expand into all of the heart, the chest, into all of the body, feeling that energy of love and that peace. A feeling of fulfillment, of completeness. Let's feel that a little more, that feeling of love. And a little more. Now we can allow the form of that being to disappear, but to keep the feeling of love and the energy of love, and to focus on the stimulus that you chose initially, and focus on that stimulus now from the state of love that you're feeling, And let's accept alternative ways of perceiving this stimulus. From that state of love, how could you perceive this stimulus differently? Allow alternative perceptions to come to mind. And let's experience those alternative perceptions. Now we're going to perform the brain balancing posture, placing the right ankle over the left, the right wrist over the left with the fingers united, and the arms straight or bent, whatever is more comfortable. And let us relax in this situation, this position, which allows for greater contact with the subconscious mind. And let us bring to our mind the first alternative perception or truth, perhaps something that you heard earlier, or anything that helps you. Focus on an alternative perception or truth which allows you to experience your self-worth as independent of that stimulus, of that situation. And let's focus on that and let's experience that truth, that alternative perception. Let it grow like a vibration, an energy which begins to fill your body and mind, so that you become free from being affected by the stimulus because you're so full of the experience, the inner experience of truth of who you are. Experience the truth of who you are, a divine being, an expression of divine consciousness. Allow yourself to feel that, to experience that. And perhaps to experience how small the stimulus is compared to the truth of your being. Now we can change and place the left ankle over the right and the left wrist over the right. Unite the fingers with the arms straight or bent and relax again. And let's bring another alternative perception or truth which enables us to feel the self-worth that we deserve, the self-respect that we deserve. Focus on that alternative perception, that truth. Allow it to grow as a light gradually filling your body and mind. Allow it to flow into all of the cells of your being. And it ceases to be a thought, it becomes an experience. Let's experience that truth, that perception. Let's experience our immutable self-worth as expressions of the divine. We have faults, we want to heal them, but even with our faults, we are worthy of love and respect. just as others are worthy of our love and respect with their faults. And now we can bring our palms to our chest and feel this position of self-support, of self-unity, feeling unity with ourselves, that we support ourselves, that we care about ourselves. We respect ourselves. And let us also love ourselves. And from that condition of accepting and loving ourselves, let us allow our love to extend to others around us, accepting them and loving them with all of their faults as beings in the process of evolution, whom we have chosen to be around us for the process of growth. Let us also accept and love those beings. Let us feel that sense of inner peace. Let us be at peace with ourselves. At peace with our lives. At peace with others in our lives. I'm going to count from 1 to 5 so that we complete the exercise. 1, 2, 3, coming to a waking stage. If you like, you can repeat this exercise as many times as you like for each obstacle towards accepting and loving yourselves. 4 and 5. I do hope that you will choose to repeat this experience a number of times, getting free from all obstacles towards that positive relationship with yourselves, which is really the only solution for a positive relationship with others and with life. So, have a great day. Have a great days before you see the next lesson. See you at the next lesson. Be well, be happy.